Xabi Alonso is set for his managerial debut at Real Madrid, and the anticipation in the Spanish capital is at an all-time high. After a season where Los Blancos were lackluster with their brand of football and unconvincing for great parts of the campaign, there is a sense that the club legend could be the messiah the club needed desperately. Alonso, after all, brings fresh ideas, renewed faith in youth, and a real chance of disrupting the hierarchy at the club that plagued on-field decision-making, especially under Ancelotti. His first game in charge of Real Madrid, however, will not be a preseason friendly but the team's curtain raiser in the FIFA Club World Cup against Al Hilal. There is, thus, minimal time for him to organize his troops and identify his best possible lineup. Over the years, the Spanish tactician has been known to prefer and adopt a three-center-back formation. At Real Madrid, however, he is willing to put his preferences on a back foot and switch to a 4-3-3. In goal, there will likely not be any surprises, with Thibaut Courtois retaining his position as Real Madrid's starting goalkeeper without much trouble. As one of the best in the business, there is no argument against the Belgian keeping his spot. The question at centre-back, however, is a serious one for Alonso to ponder, especially after the signing of Dean Huijsen. Set to be a starter. The new signing, for his quality and the sum Real Madrid invested in him, is poised to become a starter, especially after the high level he showed for Spain in the recent international break. Antonio Rudiger may well be the player's partner in crime, although it remains to be seen if the German international is fit enough to play immediately. While he will likely serve as Huijsen's regular partner for the season, Raúl Asencio may partner up with the new signing for the Club World Cup, given that the German is just recovering from surgery. Trent Alexander-Arnold has already begun generating seriously positive impressions in training and will thus start as the club's regular right back from day one. With Alvaro Carreras still not signed and Ferland Mendy injured, Fran Garcia may well be the manager's preferred defender on the left, at least for the ongoing tournament, with minutes likely to be offered to youngsters Diego Aguado and Yusi. The three-man midfield leaves the new coach in a serious dilemma, especially given the quality of talents Los Blancos have in the department. All signs point to Aurelien Tchouameni serving as Real Madrid's defensive midfielder under Alonso, thus taking charge of holding the fortress and building up from the deep. Unless a new player is signed in the department, the Frenchman's role is relatively safe. Jude Bellingham, meanwhile, is expected to play a deeper role in the midfield as opposed to his role under Ancelotti, and will thus operate as a traditional central midfielder. Federico Valverde is expected to hold on to the third spot in midfield. Bellingham to operate in a deeper role in midfield. Kylian Mbappé and Vinicius Jr. are the two de facto starters in the final third, with all signs pointing to the Frenchman playing centrally and the Brazilian out wide on the left. The duo, needless to say, will have to work on their chemistry. The third spot in attack, on the right wing, is highly debatable, and the manager must choose from one of three possible options to play in the position. Brahim Diaz, who offers the ability to drift in and track back effectively, is a prime option to start in the trident. Arda Güler, meanwhile, can also act as a trump card in the department, especially given the manager's fondness for him. But Alonso has also been working closely with Rodrigo in recent days, giving the Brazilian a good chance of starting. After all, he does offer a lot in defensive work rate. Xabi Alonso's era at Real Madrid has already begun and will be put to the test as early as this month when the FIFA Club World Cup kicks off. If the new manager's ambitions were ever in doubt, his recent press conferences have gone a long way in popularizing his school of thought and the changes he intends to bring about at the club. The change in management, however, does not limit itself to the level of the head coach, for Alonso has brought along an elaborate team to help him reach his objectives by putting together different aspects of the team's preparation. Here are the 6 members of Alonso's team and the role they will play at Real Madrid. Assistant coaches are perhaps the most important aspect of any manager's team, and finding an individual who shares the same vision and goals is often a bottleneck for managers. Davide Ancelotti played that role for Carlo Ancelotti, and Perillo will play the same role for Alonso. The 47-year-old tactician is no stranger to Spanish football and has been in the country for close to 3 decades now. He has worked at several levels of Real Madrid's youth system as manager or assistant manager, where he eventually met and began working with Alonso. Sebastian Perillo with Xabi Alonso. From there, he traveled with the coach to Real Sociedad B and subsequently Bayer Leverkusen as the assistant coach and is now returning to Real Madrid in the same position. Caminfort will be the physical trainer under Alonso and is qualified for the position with a degree in physical activity and sports sciences from the University of Lleida. He worked in Barcelona's La Masia between 2011 and 2018, then went on to pursue a new adventure in the United States before rendering his services for the Danish national team. Having crossed paths with Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen, he now intends to continue his association with the manager at Real Madrid. Encinas too has a history at Barcelona's La Masia where he worked for the Juvenil A and Juvenil B teams. Eventually, he moved to Leverkusen in 2021 where he ended up working with Alonso. He will continue to be the manager's technical assistant during his tenure in Madrid, which is quite easily the biggest position he has had yet in the sport. Lopez is a renowned goalkeeping coach and has a long history at Real Madrid in working with shotstoppers and aiding in their development. Luis Lopez will continue at Real Madrid under Alonso. He began his goalkeeping coaching career at Real Madrid's U17 team before heading out for experience at Athletic Club, Mallorca, Levante and Granada. He returned to Real Madrid in the 2015-16 season and eventually left for Real Sociedad between 2018-19 and 2020-21. Since then, he has again been with Real Madrid and will continue at the club under Xabi Alonso. Labayen has a long CV with experience at Atletico Madrid, Parla, the Spanish U17 national team, Alcobendas, Fuenlabrada, Elche, Leeds, Real Sociedad, Tokushima Vortis, Al Wakra and Real Zaragoza. He is a specialist at tactical and technical analysis of both the team and rival dynamics and will thus join Alonso as a critical member of the think tank. He knows the coach from his time at Real Sociedad B and will continue his journey with Alonso in Spain. The most famous of the 6 members of Alonso's team, Pintus is well known at Real Madrid and has worked extensively with the squad in recent years. He was a part of Carlo Ancelotti's team as well but did not leave the club with the Italian tactician. He was the physical trainer in charge of the first team, but questions were raised after the team's record last season and he will thus not continue in the same post. Instead, he will be Alonso's performance manager and will be responsible for tracking and evaluating the performances of all players. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more Madrid latest news.